Hello, everyone. A very good evening to everybody present here. I hope you all are doing great. My name is Manan Bedi, and I'll be the host for this session. I welcome you all to the day 2 of the pre hackathon speaker session at hackCBS 3.0. Continuing the legacy of our seniors, with much pride and honor, we take the privilege to organize the third edition of hackCBS, which is India's largest student run hackathon. Making full use of the digital time zone this year, at hackCBS 3.0, we will be hosting lots of live workshops and speaker sessions throughout the week. To know the detailed schedule, you can check out our website www.hackcbs.tech. Thus, we hope to make it memorable and insightful experience for you all. So, let us begin with our much awaited session of today. Today's topic is getting started with open source. We'll cover about what is open source, why should we contribute, how to get involved into open source, and also some student programs supporting open source. With that being said, let me introduce you all to the speaker of today's session, Kunal Kushwaha. Kunal is a Cloud Native Computing Foundation intern, MLH fellow, mentor at Google Summer of Code, and co-founder at Code for Cause. Code for Cause is a community empowering education and open source. They provide programming videos and awesome bootcamps. He is also skilled in DevOps tools like Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, etc. We welcome you, Kunal, and look forward to your talk. The virtual stage now is all yours.
Thank you, Manan, for having me. I'm really excited to interact with everyone.
Welcome.
So let me just share my screen quickly. Where is it? Okay, let's get started. So my name is Kunal. Manan already gave an introduction about me. If you want to connect with me after the talk, you can connect with me on Twitter. I'm mostly active over there, and my DMs are always open in case you have any doubts regarding open source or anything in general. But for today's session, this is what the agenda is. We're going to be having like an introduction to open source software, and we'll see how you can get involved in these open source communities. And I mean, this slide is something I use for GSoC, so this is not a GSoC specific talk. I'll also discuss about various other programs, but it's more focused on in general open source. And yeah, in the end, we'll just have like a Q&A session. So what is free and open source community? This is a quote that I really like from Linus Torvalds, which I believe to be true. And if we talk about any project, so what is the criteria for a project to be called open source? Open as in free. Now this does not necessarily mean that the organization cannot charge you for their services. By free I mean it's like free to access, free to modify, open for as in like for anyone, everywhere, inclusive community, and open for reuse. So let's take an example of like Android. So Android is an open source software, open source operating system, and it's being used by many other companies as well. So Android is by Google, but many other companies are using it and they're modifying it according to their needs. Whenever an update comes for everyone. Other than that, Linux is an open source kernel. There are other things like VLC, Firefox, Chromium, Python, Git, and yeah, many other softwares. So I should one embrace open source. Get the From open source software you get quality and reliability, security and stability, adaptability and customization, the freedom, and the most important one is the reason why many people choose open source is because of the community. These are just a few examples of open source software, and this is what the development model sort of looks like. So you have a project lead, and there are few volunteers, and these volunteers are us. So we are the volunteers who are going to contribute to these projects, and the project leads are the one who review our code and get it merged into their project. So why contributing is important? Let's take a look at from a student's point of view. So get the real world software development experience, and that is really important for a student. You get to test your skills, you get that exposure, you get the satisfaction of making some real world contributions. But the most important one over here is the community bonding. Okay, so the community bonding and getting that real world experience is really important. Sure, you're a student, you can also put it on your resume. If you contribute to open source, it's totally fine if you put it on your resume. How do we actually get started with open source? That is a good question. So there are a few prerequisites, obviously. So one prerequisite is Git. Git is a version control system. Without Git, you would not be able to contribute. So make sure you know about Git, and you should know about a programming language, obviously, and basic to medium knowledge of your tech stack. So you should know a bit about like development and stuff. This can be anything. This can be like mobile development, web development, DevOps, or like something like like Kubernetes, Docker, monitoring tools. What else? Machine learning, blockchain. Yeah. So any tech stack you like. So this is also GSoC specific side, but I'm sure you all know about GSoC. It's a open source program started by Google for university students. What it's not an internship from Google. It's not a trend you have to be a part of. It's not like if you don't do GSoC, you cannot do open source. You can still do open source. um, the process for like open source contributions, not talking about let's say programs, but in general, if you want to contribute to open sources, first you have to find your organization, then you have to code. So how do we find an organization? Let me just share that. How to choose an organization? There are two approaches to that. One is the top down approach and one is the bottom up approach. So what is a top down approach? Top down approach means first you learn the skills, then you choose the organization. Let's say I like Java. So I will first learn Java and then I will choose an organization that uses Java, which is what I did. But there can be other ways. First you choose an organization, then you learn the skills that are being used in that organization. So let's say you are really interested in, you went to an event of Linux Foundation or something. You are really interested in getting into Cloud Native Computing Foundation. They have many projects. So let's say you choose the organization first, and then you realize 90% of the projects are written in Golang. Then you start learning Golang. This also happened with me. So as you can see, both of these things are like coexisting together, because if you contribute to any project, it's like you are going to find some tech stack you might not have worked on in the past, and that is where the learning curve comes in. So there's obviously going to be a learning curve involved, and that is a good thing. So most of the time I get questions from students that hey bhaiya, what are some beginner friendly organizations to contribute to, ये question आता है. So it's like, what do you want me to say in that? You can pick up any random normal data structures algorithms, uh, project that someone might be using, or a simple web development project of a simple small organization. Is that going to help you quite as much like that what you're looking for from open source? Is open source only about contributing to code? But no, because if you contribute to these, like let's say easy projects, then uh, what I'm saying is that let's say you're a beginner. Okay, so contributing to these projects is fine. Let's say Hacktoberfest. So on Hacktoberfest, there are many beginner repositories. So even though you're not going to make a real world contribution, you're going to learn a very valuable skill. What is that? How to use Git and GitHub. Okay, so this is for beginners. Let's say you already know about Git and GitHub, you already know about a tech stack. Then it does not really, that then it's not going to help you as much to contribute to a easy beginner project. Why? Because you are losing on many other aspects. You are losing out on the community, the amazing events that they have, the international exposure that you are going to get, the various events and stuff. You're missing out all these things. Other than that, one of the most important things you're missing out is learning experience. So if you're not contributing to something you're new at, you're already contributing to something jo already aata hai, means something that you already know, then you're not getting to explore, you're not getting to learn. So don't ask this question, ki, can you suggest some beginner friendly organizations? No, just go ahead, get out of your comfort zone, select an organization that is difficult, like you are overwhelmed by it, that is fine. Select with the motivation of learning. The key over here is that even if you know 30 to 40% of the tech stack being mentioned in the project, you can still contribute. Okay, most of the things happen on the go. Another question I get is that the code base is really large. How do we understand the entire code base? Then you don't have to understand the entire code base. Code bases are like divided into packages and modules. You can just focus on one, have a basic idea of how it's working, but don't need to deep dive into every single folder. Okay, cool. What after choosing an organization? Um, let's first see how we can choose an organization. That is a good question. Go to this website, summerofcodewithgoogle.com. Over here, you can see archives. Currently, the site is not ready for next year, so because they have just announced the program, and there have been some changes in the programs, and some people are asking for the channel. So I'll share. Just write code for calls, and you will get the YouTube channel over here. So in case you're asking in the chat, this is the channel, and here's a video on new changes in Google Summer of Code. So you can look into that. And something all I also mentioned was open source programs other than GSoC you can apply to. So there's a video for that as well. 20 open source programs and paid virtual internships you can apply to. So these two videos are really going to help you in getting into the programs aspect of GSoC. But like I always mentioned, I mentioned in these videos also that you don't need to be like, you don't need to wait for these programs to start to contribute to open source. You can start right now as well. But let's see how we can find organizations. You can just type something over here. Let's say I type Java. So I'm going to find all the projects related to Java for each and every year, something like this. So you have to explore all these projects. Take a week, take 2 weeks. This is much better in terms of when you see this page of organizations, because now you can actually see organizations. So this is better. And when the site loads, finally will load around December, January, I'm not sure, you will get an option over here for search. So if you type over there, you type Java, it will list all the organizations that use Java. Okay, but for now you can use this search bar, and you can use this filter by category: web projects, science projects, end user projects, graphics, cloud, security, operating system, databases, so on and so forth. So go through all these organizations, right? And let's say I select any organization just for demonstration purposes, because all the pages of these organizations look same. So any organization, where is the one that I contribute to? JBoss community. So they have Java projects, and this is a main page you will be at. Yeah. So now what you have to do is click on this link. Is link pe click karo, view idea list. So once you don't really worry about these technologies mentioned. Okay, if you don't know Golang, don't know React, but only know Java, that is fine. Okay, cool. So you are at the idea list now, and what is idealist? सबसे पहले, what is idealist? Idealist is basically a collection of projects that are like currently active in this community. Okay, so you can see these are all the projects that are active in JWAS community. Let's click on any project. Let's say Quarkus. So over here, for any project, you are given the summary of the idea. You are given the possible task for this project and the GitHub link as well. You are given the required knowledge, and the skill level is given intermediate. Notice something, the exact same thing that I said is given over here in the notes, that all the skills listed above are big things. They don't expect you to be expert in any of these things. Students should, although they expect students to have an open mind and like experiment with these technologies and have a learning spirit. Okay, so there's a person who is like not willing to learn, they are going to have a really difficult time with Google Summer of Code. But I'm just talking in general about open source. So this website, this Google Summer of Code site, is particularly really also good for like finding open source organizations to contribute to, even if you don't want to do GSoC. There was one more thing I wanted to share. One more amazing program that I am currently a part of. If I just go to GitHub, 1 second. So go to GitHub, go to mentoring, yeah, CNCF/mentoring. So you can see Cloud Native Computing Foundation has their own mentoring programs. All of these are paid. That is why I'm suggesting, like, if it's a virtual internship and it's unpaid, then you don't have to do this. Like, I'm not talking about this thing. I'm talking about in general unpaid internships that happen in college. This is a really great program. And in open source, like, if you do find, like, if you are, let's say, not into any program, then the question might arise, why should I contribute now when I'm not getting paid? So don't think about those things. In open source, don't think about the money aspect of it. Like, for example, in GSoC, if you go to YouTube, okay, I'll show YouTube later, but what I'm saying is, in open source, especially as a student, your main goal should be learning and getting involved in community. But this is a paid program, so I mentioned that also. So it's like a really good alternative for your internships. You can see they participate in Google Summer of Code, Google Season of Docs, Outreachy. If you want to learn more about these in depth, all the in-depth tutorials are on my channel. You can check that out. Community Bridge is something new that I'm currently a part of. So you get to contribute to Linux Foundation, Cloud Native Computing Foundation projects, and like other projects as well. So if you go to just Cloud Native Computing Foundation, oops, CNCF. This is a really great organization, काफी बड़ी organization है. They have the events. I went to KubeCon. This is KubeCon, Contributor Summit, I believe. They have like 13,000 people under one roof. It's amazing. Great organization, great community. And obviously, these projects are worldwide recognized also. So in case you have these projects contributions in your yeah, over here on your resume as well. Let's say you didn't get selected for a program, but you still contribute to their projects, then you can still like mention that in your resume over here. Where is it? Yeah, so these are all the graduated projects. Yeah, this is the one. These are the graduated projects like Kubernetes, many very famous, Prometheus currently that I'm currently contributing to, and these are also really nice. Over here you have Thanos, which I'm a mentee at CNCF right now. So check this out, go check out karo. Really going to help you. But let's talk a bit more about like these programs. So like how to like having successful pillars in any organization. So let's talk a bit about GSoC also, since I have slides for that. So introduce yourself on the like Gitter Slack channel, search for projects, look for open issues. So this is something we already covered, search for projects. This is not much like when I showed you the idea list can there, if you go to this GitHub repository that is given, okay, just give me 1 second. Give me a second and let me just copy this. I can close that. Never mind. So this is what I mentioned, that you have your GitHub repository. Over here you will find link to the mailing list. What is a mailing list? Mailing list is a group chat sort of thing. Okay. So obviously if you're starting out with such a large project, you are going to get stuck. And who is going to resolve your doubts? People at the mailing list are going to resolve your doubt. Now, don't get overwhelmed. I know these projects are really big. Quarkus itself is a really big project, but you can contribute because you don't have to be a pro. Even beginners can contribute. Now, how to contribute? That is a good question. Before even going through like code base and stuff, use the project first. So if you don't know what the project does, you will find it really difficult to contribute to it. Okay, so once you have used the project, set it up on your local system, stuff like that, go to the issues tag and click on the label like good first issue or easy issue. Good first issue. So now these are good first issues. These are like documentations, small refactoring and stuff. So you can solve these issues. And that is how you get started with open source. Literally, I know I didn't give much insights like any other tips and tricks, because there are not. Any other tip I can give you is, let's say you want to understand a large code base, you can look into the tests. You can look into the tests written for that project. Because looking at tests can help you go through the talks and documentation, but that is it. The truth is that if a project is really large, if a project is difficult, if you don't know about something, there is only one way to contribute, and that is by studying. Okay, that is by mehnat. So without that there is no magic spell, and there are no like if you want to contribute to beginner friendly projects you can do that, but it's not going to benefit you much. So if you want to contribute to such amazing projects, तो मेहनत तो करनी पड़ेगी ही. Okay, there is no shortcut for that. Other than that, I want to just share that specifically regarding GSoC, just go to like YouTube, select, type GSoC over here, and all these videos. This is my video, so I know that this video is nice because of because this is me. And over here in this video also I mentioned about you know um, how GSoC is a bit overrated and how people just do it for money. So you can watch this. Other than that, like you can see prize money in thumbnail, get a job at Google, any degree. This is not true, by the way. Um, this is also fine, but you can see money, 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 money. Don't watch any of these videos. Why? Because you will get stuck in the tutorial hell. You will keep watching these videos. They will keep luring you into money, 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 and the open source spirit will be lost. The real thing, why? Let me ask you a question. Like, why did Google start open source, like Google Summer of Code? That is something that no one is addressing in these videos. Why? Because they just clickbait. I will tell you the real reason Google started Google Summer of Code. It is not about getting selected. I was a part of the mentor summit. I've been a GSoC mentor as well, a mentee as well. So I was there at the mentor summit. Over there, they announced that they are always mention that why did we start GSoC? It's not about getting selected. It's not select होने का chance नहीं, मतलब बात नहीं है इसमें. The main motivation is if you stay with the organization after the GSoC period is over. Means if GSoC period is over, can you still stay with that organization? ऐसा नहीं है कि GSoC period खत्म हो गया, you got your money and then now you're out of the organization. No. And other things like I just showed you, get a job at any company by Google Summer of Code. That is fake. Don't watch that. Cool. Let's get started with other things. Yeah. So don't get stuck in this tutorial hell of watching YouTube videos again and again and again. Please, just focus on the learning part, because there is no shortcut. If anyone is saying I have a shortcut, then no, they are just scamming you for views. So mehnat karni padegi. Obviously, if you don't know something, you have to study and learn and contribute. One thing that I'm saying again and again, don't need to be a pro. If you're a beginner, you can contribute. And that was it about this thing. But yeah, another thing about Google Summer of Code is don't be lazy. So don't expect the project to choose you, because you are the only one who knows about your skills and strengths. So this is an actual message that was on the GSoC discussions group. But don't be like this person, please. I showed you the entire path. I showed you all the links and stuff. I showed you the channel that I made in that 20 open source programs you can apply to. All those programs I showed you the CNCF projects as well. So please explore these yourself. You are the only one who knows about your skills. So you are going to be much better at selecting a project. Learn Git. This is really important because Git is Git is really important because of what? Because of contributing to open source. So like Git is a version control system in addition to like GitHub. Using these two things, that is really, like, you can say, mandatory to contribute to open source. And this is something we already talked about. Making a proposal. This is specific to GSoC. So in your proposal, just show your enthusiasm, show commitment. Don't write things like I'm really hardworking and passionate. No, they don't care. They mostly care about the what? If you have like if you have the, let's say, previous contributions to the project, that makes a really good impression. And another thing is timeline. So from this period to this period I'll do this, from this period to this period I'll do this, so on and so forth. You can also give your links to like CV, blog, homepage, portfolio, anything you like. So make sure you are able to tell your mentor that you are the right person for that particular job. And yeah, Mathrian has said a good point. Trust yourself, and more than anyone, that is true. An example for that can be seniors. So some seniors are like, GSoC is really hard to do, you can't do it, or you can't do it in your first year. I did it in my first year. I'm from a tier 3 college, and I did GSoC in my first year. I did it with and the organization also, really amazing organization, Red Hat. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. So I was not a pro at any cost. I was also a beginner, like every fresher, like most freshers, not every fresher. So if anyone is saying you can't do anything, Just don't listen to them. Cool. So that is something we covered. Don't copy someone else's resume proposal. That is, obviously true. This is also fine. You can give any past open source projects, research, or freelancing work. That's also nice. And if you get selected, you'll get a mail like this that your GSoC proposal has been accepted. But what if you didn't get selected? Completely fine. You can always apply next year, and it's not always possible to find the real reason why you weren't selected. And one more good thing is there are 19 and 20 more other programs than GSoC, and you can watch the video for that. Community Bridge, really great program by Linux Foundation. So it's not just GSoC now. There are many open source foundation. MLS Fellowship. So MLS Fellowship, another great program. Yeah, many people applied, and 20,000 people applied. I was also like in the hiring team for that, not hiring, selection team. So I conducted interviews, reviewed resumes and stuff. So if you want to learn more about MLH Fellowship, we did a webinar with Swift, who is the CEO at MLH. So you can check that out. Over there, he has mentioned about best practices for applying to fellowship. Cool. Few things I wish I knew of before, not GSoC, open source. You don't need to be a pro. You don't need to be from a CS background. You don't need to even have a degree to contribute to open source. You don't need to understand the entire code base. That is also fine. For something specific to GSoC, you might have to manage that with your semester exams, but now it is part-time, sort of like the hours have been reduced to half. So if you are not aware of that, you can check out the new changes in GSoC one. But yeah, this is what I wanted to say, that you have to manage GSoC with your exams. Interact as much as possible with the other developers. This is really true because like if you show enthusiasm and stuff, let's say I get a message, Kunal bhaiya, can you solve this bug? Fine, I can do that for you. But what is going to benefit you even more? If you put your queries in the mailing list. Why? In the mailing list, there are also some rules that always talk on the public channel, stuff like that. So if you put your queries in the mailing list, you will find out that, you will find out that um, the other people will be like, okay, this person is really interested in our project. Okay, so I always have these discussions in open, means in public. Don't DM anyone or anything. So that is going to be really good for you if you have discussions in public. Most of the time will be spent in research. That is also true. Reading code, learning about new technologies, understanding code base. Most of the time is spent in this. That is fine. This is something that won't happen. This is specific to GSoC and like other programs. So see, when you are aiming for big companies, there are a few parts in that. There are parts like your resume should have good project. Other than that, most important part is competitive programming and all these things. All these things collectively need to work together in order to get you a high paying, like and really a really awesome job at the big tech companies. Some people have this misconception, like I saw you some video, get a job at Google, any degree. In that, like these people are saying, um, do GSoC. Literally, that is what they have said. Do GSoC, and any company will hire you off campus. That is what they have said, and I was shocked that, because what people do then is they just do Google Summer of Code. They don't even contribute to the organization after the period is over, and that they don't do anything else after that. They are like, GSoC कर लिया अब तो हो जाएगा. नहीं होता, और मेहनत करनी पड़ती है उसके बाद भी. Okay, so that is why I mentioned कि ऐसी videos मत देखो. Focus more on what I'm saying, because I have been there. I know these things, and I know how people are using this for clickbait. So please don't get demotivated and things like that. Obviously, this is a really good thing. Like GSoC is a really good thing. But even if you don't get selected and still contribute to open source, you can still put that on your resume, and you can still make all the same benefits. So at no point I'm saying that you should not do GSoC. You should definitely try. But if you don't want to do, that's fine. You can still contribute to open source even right now, starting today. That is going to have same benefits. Uske bhi sare same benefits hain. You can mention that also in your resume. Cool. That was it about this video. If you want to connect with me, here's my Twitter. And yeah, thanks for the session. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Any questions? Let me just read the chat. Good evening, good evening. He's from Code for Cause. Yeah, I'm from Code for Cause. Hello, hello. I'm in Tier 3 college. Can I get job in production based company in foreign? Um, First of all, like I don't know how to answer that. I don't know why there is a difference between the like foreign and Indian and why people have that difference. India also has amazing campuses of Google, Microsoft. So I don't know. Sorry, how to answer that. Knowledge is awesome. Thank you. Is there anything better than GSoC to build up community and skills? Yeah, open source. In general, open source. Start right now. It's not like you will start when it comes to just um, when it comes to these programs. So you can even start right now. Cool. Mm, Let me close all the extra tabs. Yeah, I've selected a few organizations, but don't know how to select the project inside it. Don't select a few organizations like okay, a few, but narrow it down to like one organization. Um, Select just one right now. Quality matters more than quantity. Make sure you're able to give your 100% in just one organization, rather than not giving your entirely best in each and every one. So have just one organization and select one or two projects related to that. You're welcome. And yeah, off-campus placements to big time companies is possible. Yeah, in case you're wondering. And someone asked about like foreign stuff. So yeah, I know many companies who are hiring foreign interns and full-time people. The idea in the ideal is we have to choose some project to contribute or contact in channel. Choose in project. Choose in idealist. Make a video on how to approach top tech companies for off campus. Will do. That is in my to do list. I have also received like a few like internships and stuff. So maybe I can share my experience with that. Yeah, I will definitely make a video on that. What is the work of Google ML facilitator? I have no idea because I have not been a facilitator. But regarding machine learning, if you want to get started, I conducted a complete machine learning bootcamp. It's like 60 hours worth of content consisting of projects starting from basics, tools, and custom implementation of algorithms. We also had Jason and like other people from Google Research who were there to conduct a webinar on how to add machine learning to the web. So it's a really amazing bootcamp. And if you just go through the comments of the videos, you will see how much people love that boot camp. I really enjoyed conducting that boot camp, and it was just great. You just don't watch the video. Watch like look at the comments first. It's like I'm not exaggerating. It's best content on YouTube for machine learning because I searched for videos on machine learning on YouTube that also explain the custom implementation of algorithms, and I cannot find anything. So I believe mine is the only one right now on YouTube that also explains custom implementation, which is also really important. Custom implementation is basically someone is like, use this library to run your code. I'm like, we will create that library from scratch just using Python, and then compare it with the machine learning like inbuilt ones. So check it out if you want to learn about ML. It's a really great resource. Other than that, Andrew NG and 3 Blueburn Brown is also really nice. You can also check that out. How to know which organization is going to be selected in GSoC 2021 now itself? It's really difficult to tell now because of the changes in GSoC, but usually an organization that is being selected for the past few years will get selected this year also. Thank you, thank you. And now I'm thinking about conducting a like entire competitive programming bootcamp. So make sure if you're interested, I'll share about that. Currently, I'm just making videos on college and stuff. So like how to make the most out of your first year, second year, third year, things like that. So yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, indeed, a very insightful session. Thank you, Kunal, for enlightening us with your knowledge. It was really good to seek the information from you. Now, I hope there are no more questions. Now, so thank you, Kunal. It was wonderful hosting the session with you, and it was amazing. Thanks to all the audience as well. One thing personally I like about Kunal is I have also seen some of his videos, and the one thing I like about him is know something about everything and is everything about something. That's the best strategy I think can be
Yeah.
implemented to survive in the IT industry. So,
Yeah. So
so
pie shape learning. Oh, there's
yeah,
another question. How much time will it take to learn Python? I have done a boot camp on Python also, so you can check that out.
yeah. So thank you, audience, for listening so patiently. So now we are having our next workshop tomorrow at 3 p.m. on building self-driving cars by Gagandeep Rihal. So do set up your alarms for the workshop. Hope to see you all there too. Till then, goodbye.
Bye
And make
bye.
sure to fill the feedback form to get the certificates. Bye. Thanks. Thanks, Kunal.